going to open the special meeting, and thank you, councillors, for your attendance. And it is 7:07. Item. Beg your pardon? C1.
Do you have to move into close?
Yeah, no. If you just give us the title, please. Requests for legal advice, position descriptions for directors. I would like to move that council engage Hopwood Gammon to receive the position descriptions to confirm. To review the position descriptions to confirm they are within the Local Government Act, and for the Mayor to liaise with Hopwood Gammon if they're Hopwood Gammon, that'll do. 2, a copy of the cost estimate be circulated before work starts to councillors and the Chief Executive Officer. 3, a copy of the advice be circulated to councillors and the Chief Executive Officer upon receipt. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Edwards?
I have a question.
Please go ahead, Councillor Henkel.
No, I have a couple of questions, but my first one is, should it be C1 because we're not going into closed? Is that the right?
It's obviously a closed report, but we don't have to go into close. You don't have to go into close for a report. It's only if you've got things to discuss.
We do need to clarify whether it's a closed item or not.
I'm a bit confused because of the C1.
Yeah.
We didn't go into, we discussed it before,
Did you want to change the title of it? CEO or?
It's not the title.
It's a matter for you,
the
Mr.
item
Chair.
name.
I'm happy
number.
with C1 as it is, and we've got a mover and a second. Do we have a second question, Councillor Hancock?
I do.
At the moment, it has no closed reason.
Okay. So my question is, why did you choose Hopgood again, Mr. Mayor?
I believe that they've had experience in this area, and we've received advice before, and I believe this will be very cost effective to get this extra piece of advice. And it's a double check, and we'll get into the debate soon and we can have it then. Do you have anything else?
Yep, I have a second question. Have you already had conversations with Hopwood and Gammon regarding this?
I have clarified about whether I could get advice. I said I never made any commitment, but I did ask clarification on that because we got the first advice, which I was authorised to go and do on behalf of council, so it was more of a clarification.
So that second advice that you've just had that phone call with them, will that be a cost that's going to be added to the bottom line of this cost?
No, there was no cost. That I was a very short phone call, and I don't believe there's any cost at all.
So they won't be charging council for that advice and that phone call?
Well, there was no mention of it, and I don't believe there would be. Okay, okay, so I've moved that. We've got a seconder. Would anyone wish to speak to the motion?
I just think we need to clarify whether this is enclosed or whether it's a confidential report or not, because we just need to clarify the reason if it's confidential.
Well, we're happy to change the number. What would it be if it's not C1 then?
So, no, the reason, which is subsection 254J.
So we'd have to change that number.
You know, but at the moment it's not showing there. Can you go back to the actual
report? Yeah.
Yeah, the reason it's not showing there. Can you go back into the open one?
We have done in the past for employee matters.
Yep, so can we just clarify that you're intending for this to be a closed item in accordance with section 254J3E, legal advice?
Legal advice. So that is one standard one, is it?
That's the one that's been added to the agenda, but it's just a bit confusing because it's not showing up on the screen.
Oh,
so.
right, okay. Local government. So it's enclosed because of local government regulation. Confidential. Regulation 2012, section 254J3E. Legal advice obtained by the local government or legal proceedings involving local government, including, for example, leading proceedings can be taken by or against. But that's all the reasons. But okay, so let's get on with the debate. I do believe that, as it was raised yesterday, I do believe it's good due diligence and open and effective good decision making to check this as part of all of the tweaks that we'll be making. So I believe this is a very good move on council's behalf. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Taylor.
The position description for the local and regional directors. I believe yesterday, and I believe again today, it is not in our job description. I just don't know why you're bringing it up now, because yesterday there might have been that little bit of a thing that where we're overstepping our mark, because this is not our job. This is the job of the CEOs. Yes, we want 6 directors or whatever we want, that's fine, but it's not our job. So I can't vote for this motion because it's just not right. Sorry.
Thank you. Do we have someone who wants to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Edwards.
I'm very, very happy to clarify the situation. I think it's an appropriate thing to do, and due diligence considering what happened yesterday.
Okay. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, I think the horse has bolted yesterday, and now I'm just wondering why all of a sudden today it's really important for us to do due diligence. Why wasn't it important for council to do due diligence before you voted on it yesterday? I think that this is a total waste of ratepayers' money. Council has already got legal advice on this. We've read it, we've received it, and now here we go, going to spend more of the ratepayers' money getting more legal advice on position descriptions that is going to cost the ratepayer. This is ratepayers' money that we're spending on legal advice that we have already got. I just think that this is outrageous, and your due diligence should have happened yesterday before you voted on the motion. And to pull a meeting on at 7:15 at night to do this is just, I don't believe that's due diligence or good governance.
Okay. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion or against?
Yeah, I'll speak again.
Please go ahead, Councillor O'Neill.
So I think Councillor Hancock summed it up pretty well. There was a resolution yesterday that was resolved by the majority. Councillors Hancock, Taylor and myself all expressed concerns around whether the responsibility of the appointment and recruitment of the second tier of the executive level of our organisation was in fact our responsibility, of which we all expressed our view and our interpretation of the Act that it isn't. We've received legal advice. I did my due diligence. I studied that legal advice and I made my determination. So a decision was resolved yesterday to adopt the position description. So as Councillor Hancock has already touched on, it appears that the horse may have bolted here and this is scrambling to get some legal advice as to whether what was enacted yesterday is in fact legal. That's the first reason I'm against this. Secondly, there's a resolution before us where we are going to engage a legal firm and then circulate the cost estimate. Councillors, if this is supported, you are approving a blank cheque for the legal advice. Now, the argument can be the legal advice will come back at next to nothing. We're still approving, if this is resolved in the affirmative tonight, to engage a law firm to do a set of work without us knowing what the cost will be. That's poor governance. That's why I'm also voting against this resolution.
Okay, does anyone else wish to speak? Do we need to clarify, is it through local buy or I think it's, how did we do it last time?
You're on the local buy panel, but that is probably a valid point that you might want to think about, Mr. Mayor.
Put on,
It's a blank cheque.
I would like to actually put in there engage via local buy. Yep,
Would the
it's,
mover and seconder want to say council approach best cost estimate?
no, I definitely believe that we need to do it. Is the seconder happy with that, with local buy?
I didn't second it.
Oh, is the seconder happy? Okay, so that's the motion. Does anyone want to do any more debate because of that change? Does anyone else wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? All those against?
Against.
6-3 if I can call for a division. Okay, for no further business, close the meeting at 7:18 PM and thank you for your attendance, councillors.